Thank you all for coming and welcome to Demos and Expressions. This is a program that is hosted by Carlsbad Oceanside Art League, and it is generously supported by the city of Carlsbad. So we want to thank them for all of their assistance and help. Today we are going to have a sculptor. Dana McCullough is the owner of the Lieu de Sculpture, which, if you guys have been to the gallery recently, that's the studio that is right next door to the art gallery in Carlsbad Village. Dana is an artist and educator for the last 30 years. She's also very multi-talented. She's an oil painter as well as a sculptor and a writer and apparently a trained singer. So singing while you're doing that. And a painter. Yeah. So today she is going to be working with a live model, Layla, who has graciously agreed to sit.
This is Layla.
And in her studio, by the way, she does have live models come in and do 1.5 hour sessions. I can attest that these are really, really fun to go in and play with the clay. Not play with it, sorry, to be very professional with the clay. You also have in front of you a 2-pound block of something called Mexiclay. This is not the same clay that Dana would use in the studio. This is an air dry clay that was a generous gift from the Laguna Clay Company. But you can take it home, play with it. After you're done, let it sit out. It takes about 2 weeks to dry. So, and you can paint it after that. So I would encourage all of you to stop by Dana's studio. Also, we are raffling off a piece of art from her studio. $2 a ticket there, 3 for $5. The winner can go and actually select from a collection of works that she has in the studio. I would also encourage you guys, if you have, 2 or 3 hours, you might want to actually take one of her classes because it's a lot of fun. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So yes, Anne she came to the studio a couple of months ago. She's been working on a sculpture, and it was so nice to have someone from Kohl's come to the studio. I have several from Kohl's. So I'm Dana McCullough, and very nice to meet you all. I started Lieu de Sculpture. I started with my studio, and I named it Lieu de Sculpture because I was born in France, and the French have contributed greatly to classical sculpture. And so for that reason, I like the name. It means place of sculpture. So Lieu de Sculpture. I had a French person come in the other day and made me say it. It's like, say it, I want to hear it. Can you say it right? Anyway, so this is Layla, and Layla has, in fact, we have Layla, Lori, and Elizabeth, and they're all students in the sculpture studio. Lori's been there longer than I have, and Elizabeth's been there many years, and Layla too. Layla started how old? 5. But she kind of comes and goes, and right now she's really, really growing as an artist. She just finished a piece like that little torso, and she did a great job on it. That's quite a challenge, so she did a really nice job. So today I'm going to be blocking in an hour and a half. That's about all the time we have, actually less than that now. But I'm going to be blocking the sculpture. So what that means is I will get the main shapes. And then after that, then I'll start on the details. But I don't know if I'll get there today because I usually take a long time to block, sometimes 2-3 sessions to block, because I really want to see those contours and those lines accurately before I can start putting in details. If I work too fast and start putting in details, then I end up having to regroup and change everything constantly. So it's really not worth it. So without further ado, and by the way, Lori can answer questions. She's mic'd up, and I can answer questions too. However, I'm going to be focusing. I don't mind answering questions though, but Lori will do the brunt of the Q&A if you guys have questions. So also feel free to work on your sculptures if you get bored, because it's, I don't know, I think it's fun to watch myself. But all right, so I'm going to start with a 25-pound block of clay, and this is it's Long Beach Blend from Laguna, and it's the best clay that I've found that works in the studio with beginner sculptors. Most of our students who come in as beginners, and they all say the same thing. I could never do that because I don't have the talent. And I always say, no, talent is very overrated. You just need to be able to follow direction and listen. And I don't micromanage my students. I actually give them a lot of leeway. I give them a few techniques and then I step back and let them work. Give them a few techniques, step back and let them work. Sometimes I have to pull them out of a rabbit hole. But for the most part, it works very well. Our methods are very intuitive and extremely organic, so there's no need for me to micromanage anyone. It's amazing what people can do when they realize that it's a skill, about 70% of it, and once they learn it, they can make something beautiful. So I'm going to start with, I have an armature here because clay is the thing. This clay is actually very forgiving, but it doesn't really like gravity. So when you're making like a little neck with a big head, it has a tendency to flop. So we use an armature for our portraits, typically. Oh, you know what? I forgot the wire cutter tool.
That's just what I was
Darn
thinking.
it.
Do you? Oh my gosh.
Oh, you
that would
do?
be wonderful.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably not that big of a deal. I can make do, but
Because you cut up the blocks with it, right?
okay. Thank you.
Of course.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Layla, let's see. I want you to just sit as comfortably as you can. Just find a position that you're super comfortable with, even where you put your head. Where would you put your head if you were super comfortable? You can cross your legs, whatever works for you. I'm only going to be doing a portrait. Just kind of fall into something that's really sort of comfortable for you.
That'd be great.
Okay, stay like that then. Try to fixate on something in the back, and I like your look. You don't have to smile if you don't want to. We'll just start very pensively. All right, so I'm going to start on the profile. So first I'm going to meld this together to some degree. Actually, I'll start on the head shape and then I'll go to the profile. A lot of times we have little plane models in the studio that we use, and I give them to my students so that and then we have a few skulls. But the best reference is a live person. So. And I'm going to go profile, profile, 3/4, 3/4, and then front. So. Any questions? Lori's here. She would love to answer some. She's a walking encyclopedia of sculpture.
So you just said profile 3/4 or 3/4. What does that mean?
3/4 is where I'm standing right here and I'm looking right at this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part. Good question.
Do you ever wet your hands first?
No, no, you don't want to do that.
What's
It
that?
makes it wet your hands first.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it'll make it all sludgy.
It's very different than ceramic.
So- And it does take some people getting used to the fact of getting the clay on your hands, but we have a lot of buckets and things so you can rinse them off if it bothers you.
Okay. So should we follow her?
You can if you like.
Oh, in
or
your
you can
clay?
do
No, I
whatever
wouldn't
you want.
recommend. You could try.
Are we not supposed to?
Oh,
Well,
no.
You can make, just handle it, make anything you'd like out of it. You can, imagination, or, guess we should have brought some animals
Oh, yeah.
next time.
I meant to do that.
So this is gonna just air dry. Whatever we need now. Can you take this home? Well, I would put it back in there. Oh, so you can folding it.
Yeah.
While it air dries and then.
It'll air dry 2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
2 weeks,
about,
but I
so,
think if you put it in that bag and stay.
right. You can reuse it for something else when you go home, or save it by putting it in that bag, so.
This instruction sheet that you have is the manufacturer's instruction sheet, and it has some information about drawing times and painting and all that jazz.
So now she's doing the other side, and it's going to look really strange in the front, but That's the way it
A lot of
starts.
times my students, when I have them do profile, I'll catch them going over here and then they're like, oh, I'm like, get back over there.
Yeah,
Don't look at it yet.
yeah, it'll be all wider and all that, but that's taken care of, but at least you get it. This is the side. This is the left side of her head. We always try to keep our models, be they human, animal, or plastic or something, we keep our sculpture aligned the same way there looks. So if she's working from here, she'll have it right where she can see it. And if she's working from the front, she'll be here. And the 3/4 that she was talking about, she'll be right here.
What are we at now, 3/4?
Oh, no, I'm
Yeah,
doing half.
she's
the
at
profile.
She's about 3/4, so
Oh, where are
from
you
where
at?
she
Oh,
is.
yeah.
But she's doing profile right now.
So when you're doing from a series of photographs though,
You don't start doing that until after you know your way around a head.
I would think that would be very difficult.
It is, because when you take a photograph, a lot of sculptors will do that in the studio. They'll take it home and they'll see all these weird things. Well, it's two-dimensional. You're not seeing around. And that's some painters sometimes when they come to start taking lessons, it's like, oh, because now they have to do around and they tend to make sometimes the face up flat, like a painting would be. And then they have to learn to pull things back. But as you see, Dana, you're doing it pretty quickly too.
Are you just building the shape of the head right now?
Just the shape of the head, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you just took off globs of the clay and stuck it on top. I thought that was gonna be the hair, but that's what you're
Oh, no, I'm
using
not
to-
doing any details
Yeah.
yet at all.
If you
no.
look at a head,
Just the contour of
it's
her head.
almost shaped like a doghouse type of thing. So it's a lot larger up here than people think, and then as it goes behind the ears, it tapers back a lot. So we have a lot of skulls and the different things that Dana will use. to
I tell
teach
my
people.
students that if they were to stand here with a piece of paper and a pencil and sketch, you just have a line.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just looking at, the line mostly. Of course, I'm filling in too, but I'm looking only at the line right now.
Yeah, so what she's looking at is the line that this makes. I won't touch you, I promise. So, and that's what she's doing.
I'm taking off clay from the sides right now because her neck is quite long, and I'm not going to do much of the trunk and shoulders. I'm just going to do a little bit, but her neck, I need to leave a lot of room for her neck.
Yeah, and because it's on a pole, to keep the weight, you couldn't make anything this big and have a neck hold it up, being a soft clay. But as it goes, she'll be able to manipulate the neck more when she takes it off of the armament.
Okay, first I'm going to go directly to the front and before I do the 3/4, because I want to make sure I have the shape of her head. Yeah, you can move that. Whoop.
So,
Layla's laughing because I always complain to the sculptor, the students, about moving these stands correctly. And I just did it incorrectly.
and if you notice, Dana kind of shuffles between, she gets the 3D, so she's kind of going like this, so she's seeing the side and the 3/4 and the front at the same time, so she's moving.
And this is of course down the road, but I'm curious how she's gonna get that up.
Oh,
Or if it just is no-
Oh,
no
well,
grease or anything on the
yeah,
pole.
when she's ready to take it off of the pole, it'll be a lot stronger then. There's certain techniques we use in using the clay and rubbing it a certain way that makes, clay is weird because it's all these little things and they will line up, okay, like a snake skin almost. So if you rub it all the same way, it makes it a lot stronger. If you do it just like squishing and that kind of thing, yeah, it just flops. So you're lining all of the atoms up a certain way. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
We'll also hollow it before we
Right.
kiln it, put it in the kiln.
Split it in half to, and then
Yeah, she will. What we usually do is the head first and then we go on down. But we'll just take off a part, hollow it out, and then go down, put that back on. We have a technique for doing that, then going down further and further. Or some of them Dana's really good at just cutting it once and being able to be doing with it.
Okay, so now I have the head shape fairly well at this point. It's certainly not perfect yet, but like I say, it's usually 3 or 4 sessions of just blocking. I'm going to work just a little faster today for the sake of this. So now that I have the head shape somewhat correct, I'm going to work on 1, 2, 3. So the top of the forehead, the nose shape, and the chin from profile.
And she'll do the same as she did before, where she'll start on that side and then she'll come on this side and then she'll do
And
this.
I'll work on other things too, but that's my primary goal right now.
Yeah.
If I see something else that's sort of glaring and kind of getting in my way, I might fix it.
If you're doing a sculpture that has, let's say there's arms,
Uh-huh.
are there separate armatures that are there to hold?
No, we don't do that. But what we do is we build a wall. So it's like a square or a rectangle, and we will form the arm in there, but we won't take all of it out, so it'll keep it moist, so it won't dry out and little sticks sticking out. So.
And then when you're ready, you cut it.
Right, right. But that'll be on down the line when it's strong enough to hold it. So,
Layla, can you put your hair behind your ear, sweetheart?
so. I'm sorry? Oh.
Layla is 14, right? And a freshman. Oh, you're in 8th grade. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. You're almost a freshman, huh?
What school do you go to? Caliber Hose.
So Dana, your students, are your students mostly artists or are your students?
No. Doctors, lawyers, every walk of life, you know, housewives, you know, a lot of scientists.
There you go.
No, really?
Yes. Yes. Some of them are. Elizabeth's an artist, and
Yeah.
she does beautiful work. Elizabeth likes to do things in motion.
So for your students who are not quote unquote not artists, what are they discovering about themselves that's not art? That's not art knowledge.
They're discovering that they had so much more than they thought.
There we go.
That they can actually become an artist through hard work, perseverance, experience, study, and listening. You know, it's so wonderful because I taught high school for many years, and the beautiful thing about this is that any skill set, I can teach anything as long as I know the skill set, if I understand the content. And it works out beautifully. So if people are able to listen, which most people are, some people are in their heads, you know, it's you know. The other thing is, one of the things that I try to instill in them is not to compare themselves to others. They come in, and some of them come in and they just want to like, can I sell these things? I'm like, oh, don't jump the gun yet, you know. And then they look around and they see some of the more experienced artists, and it kind of bums them out. I'm like, no. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not do that. This is,
True that,
yeah.
yeah.
How are you guys doing on your sculptures? They fun? It's good. Yeah, it's a good thing to try to do her since she's here, right? How many? You were all artists? Are you all showing at Cole? Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah, a lot of times when people do their first sculpture, it's hard to let go of, and they just want to keep going and going and going, but it's like,
Perfectionism.
yeah, perfectionism will, and it's like, think of what you've learned about this, and let's start another one and you'll learn more, because this first one is probably not going into a museum.
Julie, another really good thing about what they learn in that was such a good question, is they learn engineering.
Yes.
Ask Elizabeth.
Yes.
She does these things in motion, so she has to, we have to figure out ways to kind of keep them
Yeah,
stable until they dry.
It is sort of like an engineering project.
Elizabeth can do things that a lot of us can't. She'll get them standing like this. And this clay is not really made for that. Most people have to go to wax clay or something for it.
Tell me whenever
Darned
you
if
need a
she
break,
doesn't
okay,
get it.
sweetheart?
Just amazing.
Can you tell me when 15 minutes is up so we can offer her a break?
Sure.
Okay, so at this point,
When did you
this,
start?
huh?
When did you start?
I don't know. This profile looks really good. It's a good start, I should say. But I can't see except the line. So it's probably got a lot of gaps that needs to be filled. I'm going to go to our other profile now, our other side. And I'm going to push the cart correctly.
We
These
kinda
get
do
really
a
top heavy and
crab walk.
they go down. So,
Yeah.
and I can't really afford to buy all new stands, so.
So how does one decide to do what you've done? Create a sculpture studio that you invite people into?
Well, maybe Lori can speak to that, because Lynn Forbes was the original owner and the founder, and it's a long story, but Lori, you know it, right?
I'll put it in a capsule or
Okay.
Lynn was an artist, but she had a lot of different venues that she did, but she'd never really honed in on one outside of her singing, and she made records and she did painting, she did a lot of things. But she took a trip to, when she was fairly young, she took a trip to Italy, and she went in the museums, and I think the one that hit her most was Costanza by Bernini, and she saw this face of this woman, and she just walked around it, because a lot of sculptures that are really good, you can't just stay in one place and look at them. You have to go, they invite you to go look around them. So when you're thinking of that and doing sculpture, you may have a beautiful model and they may be standing a certain way, but you're always looking, where's the artistic line? Where's that line? Well, this Bernini had that for her, and she was in tears by the time she could get away from it. She just said, I know what I want to do now. So she came back and started sculpting. And she started in a junior
Saddleback.
college. But they didn't have anybody at the time that could really teach her sculpture. She did a lot of pottery, they had that. So she started doing more, and they liked it so much, they asked her to teach. So she started
around 2
teaching
o'clock.
in there.
Okay.
So you want
And
15 minutes?
then
What
she
time is it?
decided,
So now it's like 2 minutes to 2:15. So 15 minutes.
Okay,
okay,
2 more minutes.
okay, 2 more minutes.
thank you.
So she decided she wanted to do her own studio, and she'd been doing it in her home a lot. I mean, she said she'd taken all the carpet up, had a kitchen table out in the middle of her really big home in Dana Point or somewhere near there, and she just was like crazy over it. So she started doing it there, and then she realized that what could she do to expand more? And she wanted to be with people that felt like she did and wanted to do the sculpture. So she decided, her new husband, who was in advertising and all that, he said, oh, I can help you. And he pretty much got her started at the studio, found it, and we used to have all kinds of different things to try to get people in, like we had summer camp for kids, we had all kinds of things. So, and then she finally ended up living in Italy. So they moved to Italy to live there so she could be around it more.
Wow.
Even so. Yeah, so that's where they've been for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Going on 4.
going on 4 years, yeah.
We're in Italy.
Where in Italy? She's at a place called San
Then she's done Cheslo or something.
no, San Crescenzo?
No, San Vincenzo.
Vincenzo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Vincenzo, St. Vincent. And it's on the eastern coast, just above where Pisa is. So she's across from, I guess, Elba will be out there.
All right, so I have to make a lot of adjustments in front, so here we go. Oh! We always say they look like George Washington for a while.
Yeah. Or an alien.
I like the way your head is sort of.
Okay, break time, Dana?
Yeah, you want to take a quick break before I start on the front? Huh?
Okay.
Okay,
So you can
go ahead. While she's gone, I'm not going to do much sculpting, but I do see some things that I can correct without her. So, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the biggest things that Dana tries to help people remember is put your sculpture right where you can line it up with your model so that you can be following the lines you're seeing. A lot of people just be like this, and it's like, where are you finding your information? You know? People don't realize just walking into sculpture, they've already looked at faces very well most of their lives. So if not their own face, their child, their family, other people's faces, they know more about it than they think they do.
And interestingly, when you first start, your portraits look like you.
There you go.
No matter
So-
what.
Sometimes there's a,
Especially if you're like really into taking selfies and
yeah.
it takes a while to kind of break that habit. You don't mean to do it. It's just that that's the face you see more than anybody's. Unless you're a man. Men don't look at their faces as much, I don't think. But I could be wrong.
It just depends on the man.
Do you take any measurements or anything like that? Or?
We don't use calipers, no. Yeah, it's all organic and intuitive. It's about eye model. And I always say, hey, and I do have some calipers that I do use now and then, especially if I'm having a group.
It's a rough thing.
But it's mainly just basic, just sort of this and this, just like the basic measurements, but typically no.
So Dana, I think people are interested in when you have a live model and you've got 5 different people working on it, because I thought this was interesting when I started. How do you rotate positions?
Okay, so Lori, you want to tell them about that? How we
When you have a
rotate?
live model?
You have a live model and
Okay.
you have to move. but
Oh,
you've got
yeah.
a
We
left
keep
and
the
right.
model in the same place. It's just every 10, 15 minutes, we can make a revolution around her. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll move like in small increments till we're back to the same place. Or if we've pretty much gotten most of it except for the small points, so later on in the sculpture, then we'll just kind of make room for each other, back and forth, and So
This tool is called the
it's like
Wood and Rake
puppies
tool. It's a really
and
good one to
mom,
use
you
for
know?
blocking.
Yeah,
All right.
So
I'm going to go back to the profile again, and because I'm not really ready to put everything together yet, I still have some adjustments. Our models love modeling because we compliment them so much genuinely, because when you're looking at somebody's face for a long period of time, it's such a thing of beauty.
yeah, you start noticing all the.
We have an older
Attributes.
gentleman sitting for us right now on Mondays, and he's got the most interesting nose. And he's actually sort of an acquaintance of mine, and I saw him at a social thing that I go to. And I said, hey, would you be interested in sitting for modeling? He was flabbergasted, because everybody thinks that you have to be, 20 years old and, but we like people of all ages. And the thing I liked about him is that he's got a really different nose. It's actually been broken several times.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's really fun to sculpt. A really nice guy too. And my Instagram is Dana McCullough Sculpture. Darn it, I meant to do a QR, but it's on my, you can check out my website. Anyway, Dana McCullough Sculpture. You can go on there, and I make a lot of reels and videos about our
Guides.
group
I don't
sculpture.
know if you have one. Do you already have a? All right, so I'll give you ones. And Dana posts a lot of films
Thank you.
that of classes and people sculpting, which is really a lot of fun.
My neighbor took a lot of your classes. Linda?
Linda?
What's that?
We have a few Lindas.
My neighbor.
Linda, what's her last name?
Rediff or Reddiff, something like that.
Oh, yeah. She did a monkey lamp last
Oh,
time.
Linda, yeah.
Yeah,
Linda, she keeps telling me she's going to be back soon. I haven't seen her in a
Yeah.
while.
yeah.
But, so you live out, doesn't she live in San Diego?
No, she
Oh,
lives
okay.
up in the Estates. Yeah, it's near. Yeah, she's.
All right. I'm going to just sort of draw her hair in. It's kind of good to draw in your sculpture a little bit. I'm going to go back to the front now and then to the other side. Oh, I need to go to this side first. And that's kind of what you do. You move around as you see you need to.
When I win the lottery, I'm going to buy Dana this big. It's like a lazy Susan for people. And you put the model in the middle and you just turn it a quarter
Yeah.
turn and everybody stays right where they are.
Those are so cool.
Like I said, when I win the lottery, you've got one. How many people have worked with clay before here? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey. You know what clay feels like. A lot of people, we've had people come in and they didn't want to touch it with their hands. Or they wanted to put gloves on, and it's like, usually we can get them where they're more comfortable. Give them their own bucket of water, so if they have to, they can wash right there.
And, we stand all the time. We don't sit when we sculpt,
Right.
unless you have like a, something that you can't like stand. But the only people that really want to stand are children, or sit.
Yes.
They want to sit. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's because they sit all day and they're used to it. Which is a shame, but
It is.
that's a whole different story.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Kind of how you have to control the masses. Oh, can you open that door now? It's warm
Of
in
course.
here. Thank you. All right.
So when you first start out, we always make sure that you have a three-dimensional object, person, animal, something live, not like my nephew keeps asking me to make the Eiffel Tower, and I said, make it living and I will. This was done from photos though, because Dana's very good at, she's learned a lot of where the body is. This was done from photos she put together. This was an actual model who also happens to be a sculptor at our class, in our studio. She made her a queen.
She's a
And
Renaissance
this was
lady.
actually a photo also. So, plus Dana, she'll get everything down, and then sometimes she'll just be creative and come up with who she wants it to be or what she wants it to say.
You have got the tiniest little nose.
Cute.
Tiny little features.
Yes. And I like to see that you all have like what we call an armature underneath. A lot of times people come in and they want to put it right on the ground, right on the table, and it's like you're not going to be able to, Plus which, what happens a lot of times is you need more room.
All right.
For the legs if she's doing like for.
I'm going to go three-quarter. So stay right where you are.
Institute of Chicago in 1977.
Oh my gosh.
The Celeste.
Wow. Wow. That was one of the year I got married.
But this doesn't have an armature, what were you saying about it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have to because it's so small. But you have a plinth here that you've
Lori.
made, which is nice.
Oh, never mind. I got it.
Huh?
I got it.
A plinth. It's like most sculptures, you'll see them on something. It's like a ground or a block or a pedestal type thing or something. And a lot of the people that first come, they make a face or a body and it's right on the ground, which really is difficult to sculpt because you can't get to where you want to be. So it's, if you're going to start a sculpture, it's always best to elevate it a bit on a plinth. And the plinth can be the shoulders, like Dana's doing.
So now I'm getting this three-quarter line, which is really, really coming. It's like the biggest part, I think, that really starts to, you start to really see what she really looks like. Let's do the other.
You think you'll be
This
able,
thing keeps wanting to come down on
do you
me.
think you'll be able to show them how you determine where the ear is? Do you think you're going to be able to demonstrate how you find the ear?
Oh, yeah, in a second.
So what are you doing now?
I'm finding her ear hole.
Oh.
All right, let's stick with the three-quarter.
Has everyone gotten raffle tickets? If you want to.
Doing okay, Layla?
The dowel?
I don't have that much more
Oh,
to go.
yeah, we will. We will. The armature? Yes. She'll start cutting it to hollow it, and it dries the most at the top and goes down. Everything lower is a little less dry as it goes on. So she'll hollow out the head first, probably just cut like a cap out, pull it off and hollow it out. And then we have a technique for putting it back on that you'll never know it. But usually first time sculptors, it's hard to cut something like that.
They start crying.
Yeah, they think it hurts.
They're
So
like, no, we don't have what?
yeah, so usually they ask Dana, will you please cut it for me? Because it is kind of nerve-wracking the first time. But as you go, you realize. And when you hollow it out, it's almost, you know how you take a melon baller and you, yeah, it's almost like that, except you don't twist, you go straight.
So basically, it's just
All right.
doing the basic form, and then you're, with your extra clay, you're building.
Right, right.
So just in
Taking the
case,
extra clay.
just in case you love the feel of the clay and you don't wanna go buy kiln, this product that you're using is Mexo White. They also have another product that's Mexo Red. And then those, you buy in 25-pound big old chunkos, right?
Yeah.
But they do have other products. One's called Happy Clay that comes in a smaller package.
Really?
And then there's another product called Sculpt, S-C-U,
Is it Sculpey?
LPD.
Oh, Sculpt.
And that you can buy on Amazon. Here we have listed freeform clay down in National City. You
That's
can
where we get ours.
That's where you get the clay.
Yeah, it's the best.
If you want to go to Laguna Clay, you can go to Laguna Clay. It's in the City of Industry, but
Right.
just prepare for a whole day because
That's
traffic is
up
bad
by
going
LA,
and bad
yeah.
coming back.
Yeah. You can also get it in Orange County at a place called Aardvark.
Yes. I don't talk about those people.
Oh, okay. They're back in business.
Good. Good.
They did close for a while.
Bully for them.
They did close.
If we were doing this at home for whatever reason, and then decided we wanted to fire it, are there places
Oh, yeah.
where you can get it fired?
Yes, yes, there are. And Dana uses the same person that Lynn started with, and she lives in Encinitas, and they load up the back of their cars and carefully put things between them, and they drive them themselves. Just amazing.
So you're not gonna have to go there?
Oh, no, not unless, well, when you make it at your house, yeah, you would have to go there. But I don't know, is she still doing people walk in, or is she?
Yeah, I think she
Joyce?
will.
Yeah, she's been making noises about retiring, so we're like.
If you come to the studio, you get a much better price though, because
Yeah.
she charges somewhere around $80 a piece,
Yeah,
and I charge about $25
yeah.
because I bring a whole load.
Yeah, so she can fire all of them at once. She has kilns that you can stand up in. A couple of them, they're huge. But she has smaller ones, bigger ones.
Is it break time, Elizabeth? For Layla?
Yes, I think it is. It's 15 minutes.
You want to take a little break?
Okay,
It's good to do that. It's good for me too.
yes.
Ooh, did you hear that pop? There was a bubble in there.
I thought it was her knee. So,
All right, so it's coming along. Starting to look a little bit like her.
yeah.
George
So.
never went through the George Washington phase.
What?
I didn't see George Washington.
Oh, maybe.
Mine always looks.
Mine did.
Mine looks more like an alien. So.
I think mine's, that's what's happening here with me.
Oh, and there's another one under here too.
And she's got such a little head. She's such a little girl.
So how do you do the math?
The mouth?
The math, yeah.
Oh. I couldn't just tell you.
Yeah, there's a certain tool
so
in a
that-
way.
one of the things is you have to understand the shapes around the mouth. It's not really the mouth. You can make a perfect mouth, but it looks terrible if you don't understand the muscles around the mouth. So, yeah, and I don't make you study anatomy, but I teach it to you as you go a little bit, as in relation to making shapes. So this whole muscle is very important. There's a donut around here. But I'll save the rest for when you come in the studio and I'll teach you. No, there's a donut around the mouth. It's a big muscle.
Okay.
And the lips sit on top of it.
Yeah.
So how do your classes work? Are they, you know, like a week?
Do you want me to take this,
Are they over a period
Dana?
of time, or?
Usually people buy a package, and usually a sculpture will take about 5 to 10 sessions to do, depending. A portrait will take about 10 typically. Really depends, 6 to 10. It really depends on the artist and how fast they work. It's hard for me. I think I usually take about 6 to 8, but I'm never like sitting in one, you know, I never sculpt for a whole session because I'm teaching. So,
Yeah.
so I'm doing here, there, and everywhere. So anyway, so go ahead and finish it if you
And
could.
how long are the classes?
2.5 hours. And it's individual attention, so Dana will go around the room and help each person until they get, you know, they give you the information, you go with it, and then if you're feeling stuck, then just call one of us over, call Dana over, and she'll show you where to go from there. And then, so you learn in steps, kind of. It's too much. I mean, if you needed to learn everything about a face in one sitting, there's just endless plains and valleys and things in there that you couldn't.
The first piece, you know, I want you to choose something you really like. I have a lot of reference pieces in the studio, but I also want you to think of it as a learning piece. You get so much knowledge from making something.
Well, and just the feel of the clay and just how it works, what works on it and what doesn't.
So do you paint it afterwards?
I'm sorry?
Do you paint it?
You can. After it dries, well, we've got a place, after it's all hollowed out, Dana's got a place you can store it where it's kind of raised in the air. And it's usually about 6 to 8 weeks that it takes, depending on how large it is, could be longer. And then she carefully takes it to the kiln in Encinitas, and it's fired, and then she brings it back, and that's when you can decide what you're going to do, what kind of patina you're going to put on the finish. We call it a patina. A lot of it is because some of the paints that we buy have the metal, have like the bronze in them, or dust, I guess they use them, in it. So it's a little more expensive than you would a lot of paints. In fact, for our base and we will sometimes use just outside house paint. So I know it sounds funny, doesn't it? But you can use that as a primer, and it's pretty, keeps it
But
for
I've
a long
seen
time.
at Blick and other places, a two-part paint set where it has some copper. And then you put it gives it a really nice patina on it. It oxidizes the copper. I guess,
Yeah,
and makes it
usually,
kind of green.
yeah, that's usually a two-step process where they put that, but we have copper in the paint, so we'll put a base of like a gray or a lighter color or whatever that we're making, or if you're going to make like a verdigris, you put a gray, and then we take it and we dry brush the copper all over. And then we'll take another product, and it's not one that reacts to the metal in there. What it is it's like a stain almost, and it's kind of greenish blue, and then we dab it on and dab it off in places. So you can put it on as much as you want or as little as you like. So
See this muscle right here? You can really see it from the side.
yeah.
It's really supporting that beautiful little Cupid's bow mouth.
Is this still considered blocky? What she's doing?
Yes. She's putting in all the muscles and stuff now. Yeah, after she gets all the blocking done. Yeah, well, she's into the more detailed part of the blocking. But if you look at what she's done there and you see the little sculpture models, they're showing planes, that's what she's putting in there now. And then she'll fill it in with the flesh and, you know, things that are her, not just any person. And you guys are lucky because I don't think this kind of type of clay you need to hollow out. So,
You don't need to what?
hollow it out
Yeah.
because it just dries itself. So, we have to hollow it out because if there's any moisture inside of it that's different than the outside and we put it in an oven, it will steam or, it'll break the whole thing.
So by hollowing out, you're saying is cutting it in half and taking it off?
Right, and taking everything out of the insides of it. And sometimes we'll leave it on the armature and get all the way down, depending on how big it is. Sometimes you have to wait, and then we'll lay it over and when it's drier and easier to work with, and then we'll pull it out this way, and then hollow the rest of the bottom.
So what is it you're hollowing out? You said take
We're
everything out?
hollowing all the clay out to about this thickness.
Oh, okay.
So the thickness of the actual sculpture is only about like this. And then other times we can fill it back in like Dana has done to make a piece a little more sturdy. She'll use some of that foam that you put in buildings and things. And you can spray it in there and it will hold.
But I guess you have to worry about weight. If you did a sculpture that was
Right.
weighted,
Well, and especially if you're making not so much, the necks a little bit, but when she gets it off of there, it'll still be soft enough where she can kind of do, what do you call it? Yeah, she can kind of twist the neck a little bit or the head or raise it. Right now, when it's like that, we like to call it pole neck because that's a pole right up the neck. And she looks like she has pole neck, where she's got a much more graceful, which Dana will do when she gets it off of the
Lori,
rod.
can you shut that door again? It's really glaring. Thank you, dear.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can. Is this still glary if I do that?
Better. Thank you.
So. What I also wanted to tell you is when you've got a sculpture, like a standing figure or something, the clay will compress, so you can make it all and it's nice and the legs are the right height and everything. You can wait till next time and maybe they're going to be maybe that big. The pressure and the gravity that is in that will do that. So you, yeah. Well, takes us longer than a day. Knowing that, you try to make something that's supporting it, a piece of clay or something to hold it. So you've got, like, you've seen the mannequins at the store, how they used to have the thing coming out of the back of them, like a pole or something. Well, you make like more like a small wall of clay, Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways that you can find of doing that, but you just have to watch out for certain things because the proportions will change sometimes on you because of the weight and the gravity. So.
is there anything different that you would do if you wanted to have it cast in like bronze or something?
Actually, if you want to have it cast, you take it to a foundry and you have them make a. We've had members of our group that have gone to foundries and learned how to do all that, and it's quite time and financially consuming. So.
What do they make about wax?
Well, they have it's like a lost wax process that they do, and you have to have all these little air tubes coming up, and it's very complicated, and it usually costs more because the people who have been doing it a lot know how much bronze they can get away putting in there and having it, where you usually put more when you're not as skilled at it. So it's a definite skill. I'd say an artisan type of thing.
But does it require a different, is what you bring to the foundry different than what you would do if you were in a class? In other words, from the sculpture?
Not necessarily, okay? It depends on how many, if you know you're going to fire it, the main thing you have is your, where you undercut and the cutouts that you do in that, more of your little spaces. That's more difficult to make try to make them a little smoother or something, because that's very difficult in making a model or something that you can make a form out of. So,
Okay.
undercuts, I think you'd call them. So what you do, and it'd be more costly, and then they would have to do separate castings and then put it all together, kind of, which takes a lot more.
I'm just curious because there's a gentleman in the studio who did a beautiful bronze piece.
Uh-huh.
Octopus with-
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Okay,
I've
so
seen it, yes.
I just wondered when I was looking at it, he could not have, I don't think he could have done that.
I think he probably used wax clay.
But I think he did it in pieces.
How's the boyfriend?
Oh yeah, you do. You do have to do it in
Still with him?
pieces. Yeah, probably not, depending. That's why we do it. Did he have it done, or did he do it himself?
For what?
See, a lot of people will say,
For what?
oh, well, I only sculpt in bronze, and it's like, how do you do that, I sculpt in clay and then
Okay.
make a bronze.
I just meant from a process perspective.
Yeah. So it's less time
And your mom and dad
consuming
really
and
like 'em?
a lot
Oh.
less expensive in the long run if you have somebody professional do it. Yeah. Who does that and knows all the ins and outs.
This is really looking quite good.
Isn't it? Dana, it's looking really good. Not that you need my approval.
I get to know all about their lives too, so.
So this has been an hour, right?
I'm sorry, I'm making a big mess. I should have brought my tarp. Is that okay, Ann?
We'll have to find it. I'm sure they have.
It's a messy prospect. During COVID, I've sculpted 5 sculptures out of my house. I could not wait to get back in the studio. Even though I was in the garage, it was still everywhere.
It just washes out of his clothing and doesn't stain, and we don't have clay that has any added iron oxide, which makes the orangey color, which would stain.
I'm surprised you guys are so riveted. I really thought nobody would really want to watch this whole thing. We do the, and thank you, I appreciate you. We do the art fair at the Village Art at the Village. My studio sets up 4 tents, and we have sculpture gallery, and then this year we're having 2 young boys. They're about a little older than Layla, and we're going to have 2 sets of sculptures, sculpting one boy in each tent, and we're really looking forward to that. It's on June 22nd, and it's goes down Grand and State, and we'll be right in the middle, in the middle intersection. I forgot the name of the street, but. We're always somewhere different, but this year they want us to be the focal point, because we get a lot of traffic.
Good for business, huh?
Not really, it doesn't. No, it's a lot of work, but I don't get that many people coming in from the fair, but we love it, and it's a really good community event. it's really good camaraderie too for my artists. All right, this is going to have to come way around here. It's just really difficult to sculpt from the front.
It's gonna fall down soon.
We don't have that much time left, but this. You let me know if you need a break, okay? This is kind of hard to do. Do you think it's hard? You're pretty chill. Jenny, she's so adorable. That's her mama. I'm going to give you the sculpture, but I'm going to finish it. I hope she'll come in and sit for me. If you want
Well,
it.
I keep pulling away from it because I've been trying to move the front here. Yes.
Anne's just finishing her first one, and it's a dandy. Yeah. All right. Gotta go to the 3/4. A lot of people want to do eyes immediately because they're so fun. They're not fun to do. They're really hard, but because they're they're the things that have the most expression. But it's futile unless you have the other shapes. So really, they're the last to do. Really.
It's 15 minutes past, okay?
Okay. Want to take one more little break, and then we'll finish. Boy, that would be really helpful. I should watch that. See what's going on.
So
with
do you
the
ever
other stuff.
use tools? Or is it because you're still blocking?
It's because I'm still blocking. I have used a little bit, this one a little bit, and this one. People are different. Some people start using tools right away. I like to use my hands. Hands are the best tools. And then then you use the tools when you're doing the modeling, yeah. And it kind of helps that I know this little girl and know her face.
Yeah.
So I can kind of remember. All right, last stretch.
Maybe while she's on the last stretch, has everybody gotten raffle tickets? If you want to get raffle tickets, we can pick. Everybody good? Who shall we have? Let's have the model. Yeah. Can the model pick the winning ticket? Elena Miller.
Me? Oh,
You're in. All right.
I'll never win anything, I swear.
You can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
So you can go visit her studio and have her show you.
Wow. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Can what? Yes, please. Yeah. So I can work on it. Yeah. Actually, she doesn't have that much. Make sure you get the 3/4. The other thing I don't do that it's really varies among sculptors, but some people like to smooth things immediately. I find it a huge waste of time. Smooth things. It's a waste of time and a waste of your session. Because if I would have smoothed things 10 minutes ago, I would have obliterated it. So it takes a while. Yeah, and you know, smoothing makes it look better, of course, but you know, if you're not ready. Yeah. All right, so that neck comes back like that. Making room for that beautiful neck. And it kind of comes at a slant like that.
think I'm just gonna, yeah, leave it asymmetrical.
Have you ever really looked at people and you're like, Picasso was right? You know, it's like, he does have one bigger eye or ear. Yeah. And a lot of times when you have a commission to do a portrait of some person, you might kind of clean those things up a bit and make them a little more symmetrical. Just so that they're not feeling, oh, it's that obvious.
I'm going to do kind of a, there we go. You pull that hair out of your face. Thank you. It's surprising how teenagers really like to be sculpted. I've done several, and it's amazing because, I don't know if Layla does, but yeah. I always think they're going to go, no, you know, but they're always really receptive. I sculpted my teenage neighbor's teenage son a couple of years ago. And he's just the most quiet, introverted person. He really enjoyed it.
And that was at the fair, so it was double trouble. So you did a demo at the Belmont Fair?
What's your brother's name, Blake?
Yeah.
Would he do it?
Probably not.
No.
He likes to go fast. Like he likes to move around.
He likes to move around, yeah. He can't sit still for long. Yeah. All right. I'm going to finish with just putting a little hair in because it's important, because it's a big part of her being. And then I will work on this in the studio from photos, and if I can get Layla in, that would be great too.
draw also, portraits and stuff? Because
Draw-
really, it takes the
Drawing
same
is very helpful to sculpture. People who come in with sketching and drawing experience usually progress a little faster,
Yeah.
just because they're used to looking around corners and yeah.
Really looking at
Uh-huh. I have been drawing since I was a child. I'm not super disciplined at it. I do it when I feel like it. Sometimes I draw the sculpture, the models, and that helps.
Oh, so you sketch the model?
I'll take pictures and then sketch them, and then that will help sometimes.
So you won't necessarily use the model the whole time?
No, I use the model, but if I go home and sketch it, it's like just like a little homework to kind of help me see the shapes a little better. Yeah.
We have had painters, though, that have come and sculpted with us go back until the painting class. They really have a much better idea, and it's helped them in painting also.
Yeah.
So,
Now, where did I put that ear hole? It's got the tiniest little ears. My goodness, I love it. Models are often surprised because we make comments about things they'd never thought about. It's like, what?
So I didn't see when you were making the mouth, you were adding clay on.
The mouth?
Were you, yeah, or were you were adding pieces on to mold it? Or?
For the mouth?
Yeah.
I just used my fingers, and then first I did sort of that donut shape that's the muscle around the mouth.
Okay.
And then I often add clay with just like the tip of this. This is helpful. And I want to do that French braid. I like that French braid. So
5 minutes, bud.
That should be, I would think that would be a little challenging.
yeah, French braids are a little challenging. Okay.
Wow.
All right, let's go. It's getting there. Thank you. Come stop by the studio anytime and see how it's going. Although I've got like 5 projects, so I don't know.
So you fire that in a kiln afterwards? You fire it in a kiln
Yes.
afterwards?
So I'll work on this probably 10 more hours, and then I'll hollow it, and then I'll let it dry for 5 or 6 weeks, and then
To hollow it from the inside?
we cut the head, like cut it like this. Hollow half the
Pretty
head.
agonizing.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's why I've asked you, because it's like, you just put it in like that, it would blow up, right?
Yeah,
So
that's the
now,
problem.
Will you continue this without her being there?
Lori took a bunch of photos. But I think she said she would be willing to come in the studio and sit. All right, give Layla a hand. Thank you, Layla.